You know, there's an age old saying, and that is sometimes the jokes just write themselves. So I was just on Twitter and I got a DM from TD Hip Hop Media, and shout out to TD. Make sure y'all go and subscribe to his channel if you haven't done so already. And he sent me this DM where he said, Torian, go get your boy CJ. And I'm like sitting here saying to myself, oh God, what is this fool done now? And it was this picture attached to a tweet that he posted on December 18th, 2022. And I'm recording this on December 21st, 2022. And the tweet says, we're going to save Generation Z. And he's standing there with none other than Kyle Rittenhouse. And if you look in the background, it's a band I forgot what that's. It's a backdrop of PragerU. Now, what if I told y'all, if a black person is working for PragerU or they endorse PragerU in any kind, we already know what type of time they on. This is the same PragerU that Amala Ekpunobi works for or works with. And y'all know I had to grill her a couple months ago. And as you can see, CJ Pearson is there too. Now, you want to know what's so interesting about this? Both of these individuals look way older than their actual age. They are very close in age, as a matter of fact, because I believe Kyle Rittenhouse is like 19 or 18 and 19, and CJ Pearson is 20. When I tell you both of them look double the age that they actually are, they both look like they are older than me. That's crazy. And like I said, CJ Pearson, this guy's 20 years old. If you didn't know what his actual age was, you would think that maybe he was at least over 25. At least. At the most 30. But this guy is 20 years old. Kyle Rittenhouse is like 19. They literally are born they're literally like a year or two apart from each other in age. And this is how, they appear. And it's crazy because when I was looking through the comment section, people said CJ Pearson just looks like the white version of Kyle Rittenhouse. And you know what? When someone said that, I said, I can't unsee it. I can't unsee it. They look like a white and black twin. They both got almost the same facial structure, the same build. They're like almost the same height. Kyle looks a little bit taller, but then again, the shoes tell a story. And we both know that they don't like black people. Go figure. Now, I could spend all day just doing a self-grilling of myself, of this image here, because trust and believe, there's a lot to go on. Like for the fact of why is CJ Pearson the size that he is, squeezing into pants that small. Sir, I'm going to need you to go up at least a pant size higher, because you look like you can barely breathe in what you have on. Same thing with Kyle Rittenhouse. He can't even get the second button. He can barely get the first one button. He look like if he breathes just a little bit too hard, you better watch your eye, because that button is coming your way. But it's amazing how, of course, he's propping up this individual who we know what he did. The world, as far as I'm concerned, knows what he did. But look at who he's standing next to and saying we're going to save Generation Z. Listen, if Generation Z needs saving, it won't be from these two, because if they were the saviors, quote unquote, of Generation Z is going to continue to fall if you leave it up to these two clowns. Now I'm going to pause this right quick, and I'm going to go through some of these quoted tweets, and I'm going to let y'all see something. These people like literally went in on them. I've already seen some of it. As a matter of fact, if you look right here, it says 97 quote tweets. When I first saw this tweet, it was at 56. And that was today, literally a couple hours ago. And many more people, as you can see, since then have gone in on them. Like, this dude actually thought he was doing something here. And I'm going to be honest with you, before I get into these tweets that people said, every time he posts something, everybody grills him. Like, he is a very unlikable person, and he thinks that just because he has a blue check mark, that he works with PragerU, that he's a part of Gen Z, and that he leans politically to the right, or he calls himself a Republican, that he's supposed to be just loved by the masses, and that is far from the truth. But I'm gonna go through some of these tweets that people are saying. So this one says, two of the biggest ass clowns that ever should be in a straight jacket. Now, I'm going to keep it. Let me put this like this. This is a universal roasting. There are people from all backgrounds that are going in on this, because nobody likes either one of the people that's in this picture. This person says Gen Z does not claim you. Someone else said, I'm surprised he didn't shoot your black ass when you walked up to him. This other person said, dude, no one trusts guys with hips. That one had me rolling when I first saw it. This one says, from embarrassment, too late. Someone else says, save yourself a trip from Church's Chicken, you no-neck bastard. And then they put up the infamous image of Steven from Django with Calvin Candy after he was killed in Django Unchained. This one said, this how mixed families look before the mom got with the black guy. This one says, look at this guy, ... This one said, bro, imagine being a washed up social media child star. And they're talking about CJ Pearson. It says, white approval is a dangerous drug. This other person, another against a Django reference. It says, one of the realistic movies ever made. Someone said, Killer and the Coon. Shout out to Tweety Montgomery. She follows me on Twitter. She says, nephew Ruckus, you get $100,000 lashings for being hashtag Negro Peenie. This person said, this is what happens when you black conservatives, when you age fast as hell. This dude looks like he's in his 40s. That's what I said. He looks older than what he is. He's only 20. And that's scary considering he's only 20. Imagine what he's going to look like when he is 30. Shoot, I'll knock him down 5 years. Imagine how he's going to look when he turns 25. This same person said literally the same people with different color. Shout out to the amazing Lucas. He says, you need to save your cholesterol, little man. You're too young to be that chubby. As a matter of fact, both of y'all need to hit the gym. Hashtag fitness, hashtag politics, hashtag black men. This one said dorks. This one says goofy black conservative with a kid that happily murdered 2 people. This one says temporarily building picture day. He says, y'all come look at this. Another person says, bet you bowed down and kissed his foot before this picture, didn't you? Shout out to Tony Carter, another person that follows me on Twitter. She just put the gif of the woman shaking her head in just utter disgust. This person says that kid was a teenager before Woovit. Now he's in his mid-40s and dropping his daughter off for her first day of college. See, they going in on his age because he looks older than what he is, and he really does. He really looks older than 20. Now, if y'all remember when I did that other video, he kind of looked around his age. That's because he was shooting just, from the neck up. But when you zoom it out, this is how he appears. This is CJ Pearson today. And he looks older than me. This person says, so the anti-black man and murderer from Wisconsin are going to save the next generation? Right. I'm going to read a couple more because as you can see, they pretty much all lean into the same thing. It says, this is why I can never be a Republican. Granted that I hate Democrats, I just hate Republicans as much too. Someone says they look alike. I'm not even being funny. This person says, y'all ain't saving ish. 50,000 lashings for you. Someone says, oh no, he's in Yeezys too. I'm so close to never buying another pair. This one again, this is another person that called them dorks. Someone else, shout out to Mike Baggs. He said, I knew there was something off about this CJ Pearson kid. Oh, trust Mike, you a little bit late. We knew something was off about him years ago. Gen Z will cancel this terrible reality show. This one says, it's like they're trying to look as dorky as possible. That's the third dork reference we've gotten since I've gone through this thread. And I'm going to read, this is the last one I'm going to read. It says, Alexa, show me 2 very punchable faces, please. I had to pause the video because my device almost cut on when I said that name. But yeah, as you can see, that's pretty much as many I'm going to go through. Like I said, it's 96 of them that have come through since he posted this on December 18th at 9:44 p.m. But let me just say this right here, because this really is a point that I'm making. This is exactly why you would never see me walking around here calling myself a black conservative. Let's just hypothetically say I have conservative views. Like the stuff that I talk about is more conservative leaning. I will not go out of my way to call myself a black conservative because look at what most black conservatives who go around calling themselves black conservatives act like. They act just like him, look just like him. Sometimes dress just like him. And look at the views that they have when it comes to the world. But look at what their views are when it comes to black people. Their views when it comes to black people pretty much line up with the same views that many PC conservatives have of black people. And PC Democrats, liberals, let's just completely be honest with ourselves here. Because they have some of the same views, but they just word it differently. I could never go around calling myself that because then I get lumped into the category with him. And let's just hypothetically say I did call myself a black conservative, but I was talking the same way that I'm talking right now. I would end up getting lumped in with people like CJ Pearson. If I was to say, oh, I'm a black conservative, and I put that into my bio on Twitter, guess who would start following me? The same people that probably follow him, the Coonstras, Fakem, and all those others. And that's not the type of audience that I want. Like I said, I think many people have said over the years that black people have some of the most conservative views about a lot of things when you really break it down. But we don't have to go around calling ourselves a black conservative, because it's like when you're calling yourself a black conservative, you're sending a dog whistle to a certain group of people to say, hey, look at me. Can you see me? I'm not invisible. Yes, I'm black and I stand out like a sore thumb, but please acknowledge my presence. And that's exactly what he's doing. Remember, I did a bed bucking video on him like 2 weeks ago where he was talking down and downplaying reparations for black people, black Americans in particular. And here we are 2 weeks later, and he's taking a picture with Kyle Rittenhouse saying we're going to save Generation Z. I don't think Generation Z, if they needed saviors, would call on these two chuckleheads to save them. No matter how they appeared in their costume, they don't need saving from you. As a matter of fact, as far as I'm concerned, these two are villains of Generation Z. Far from heroes, far from heroics. If you want to ask me my honest opinion. I wouldn't even ask them to save a rat. Let's just hope the rat is smart enough to find its way out of its own situation. But yeah, CJ Pearson and Kyle Rittenhouse, for that matter, are clowns, but especially this one right here. We already know his angle. He needs as much attention as he can possibly get. And again, I'm going to end this video off by saying this. Where are his parents?